Happy Father's Day. That was Circle of Life. Wade was going to hold up the baby lion, you know, as Mustafa. There we go. Yes, you know, father to son. That's it. Yes. Anyway, thank you for being here with us this beautiful Sunday morning. And we'd like you to join us in our first sing-along song. And we have new echoes, more singing for you to join us on. So this is We Come Together. Hello out there in video land too. I'll never forget you. So here we go.
Arise.
Arise.
Take a look at the person next to you.
Take a look at the person next to you.
Say, I recognize the God in you.
Say, I recognize the God in you.
Feel the love in the sanctuary.
Feel the love in the sanctuary.
Lift your voice and repeat after me.
Lift your voice and repeat.
We come together.
We come together.
We come love in the sanctuary.
Feel the love in the sanctuary.
Lift your voice and repeat after me.
Lift your voice and repeat.
We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. In the name of love. In the name of love.
Good morning. Wow, this place is filling up. I don't know if any of you have ever been here before, although I suspect almost everybody has, but for those of you who've not been here before, we are a trans-denominational, actually a transcendental center. And what we do here is we teach spiritual principles that if you learn how to use them and you practice them, your life will improve. So that means if there's a part of your life that's not working exactly as you'd like it to, that can be improved. And if your life is going really, really well and you can't think of anything that could be better, actually it can be. It can even be better than that. So it's as much as you would want. So if you would never want anything good again, you could choose to do that. If you prefer to constantly have things get better, you can do that. We don't know what you did last night, and we don't want to know. What we really want to know is how grateful we are that you showed up here today, because you could be right this moment watching reruns of I Love Lucy that you forgot, or you could be listening to some sort of political show where they make sure that the anger levels are high, or you could come here and have a good time and improve your life. So we are going to begin with something we call lighting the flames of faith, which is a call to service. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And as practitioner Jody Charton lights the last candle, let it represent the path that brought you here this morning.
Thank you, Bruce. Good morning. Good morning. How's everyone doing today? Good. Blessed. I love it. Why don't we start with a couple ohms? So please join me. Take a deep breath. Ah. there is one God, one power, one presence that is infinite, that is first cause of all of life. I know that this power is peace and joy and vitality. And I know that I am one with this spiritual presence. I am one with the divine that moves in and through my entire being, that expresses through me. And I know this for each one here, for each one on the internet, for each one who hasn't made it here. Knowing that and realizing that today is a magnificent, glorious day where each one is open and receptive and hears exactly the right message they need for them, for their bodies, their minds, and their spirits, but especially their bodies today. This theme this month, the body. And so knowing for each one that they receive exactly the wisdom, the guidance, the inspiration that they need to feel whole, to feel one in that beautiful love. And so it is with gratitude and a full heart that I release these words into the law, knowing it is already so, and so it is. And now we have an affirmative prayer today. Please join me in this affirmation. I feel and honor every sensation in my body, and so it is. All right. And now please join me for the global vision for a world that works for all. We are all honored as an expression of the divine, where people live according to spiritual truth, where humanity awakens to spiritual magnificence, where humanity rediscovers personal creative power, where we live as one global family, where kinship with all life prospers, where unity and connection is emphasized, where forgiveness is the norm, where spiritual guidance is valued, where communities are meaningfully involved in service to the world, where resources are valued, cared for, and shared, where all people have enough food, homes, and a sense of belonging, and where there is peace, harmony, and justice for all. Amen. So it is. Thank you.
And thank you, Jody. So let's see what's next. Aha! Today we have the Jewel Tone Choir, Rainbow Choir, and here they are.
Thank you, Bruce. This is our smaller ensemble from our choir grouping, and because this is Pride Month, Karen had the brilliant idea of, since we had 6 people, we have the 6 hues of the rainbow here. Oh, Karen needs some. And I'd like to introduce our singers as they're getting everything set up there. So April over there, wearing lovely violet, and Jamie Kalama, and then Kathy is still coming out. She'll be in green. You'll see her very soon. And then Karen and Wade and Michael Garamoni. So please, yes, big welcome for them. I'm so grateful for their giving their talents and time to make music for you this morning. And this first song ties in with our yearly vision and theme, which is wonder. We're covering all the bases today. Our soloists are April and Michael in this.
Have you Have you ever seen the wonder in the glimmer of first sight? As the eyes begin to open and the blindness meets the light. If you have so say,
I see the world in light. I see the world in wonder. I see the world in life, bursting in living color. I see the world your way, and I'm walking in the light.
have you ever seen the wonder in the breath of a new life, having come out of the water?
I see the world in light. I see the world in wonder. I see the world in life, bursting in living color. I see the world your way, and I'm walking in the light. I see the world in grace. I see the world in spirit. I see the world your way, and I'm walking in the light. I'm walking in the wonder. You're the wonder in the wild, turning wilderness to wonder. I see the world in love. I see the world in freedom. I see the Spirit's way. You're the wonder in the wild. I see the world God's way. I'm not afraid to say it. I see the world your way, and I rejoice and sing it. I see the Spirit's way, and I'm walking in the light. I see the world in light. I see the world in wonder. I see the world so bright, bursting in living color. I see the world your way, and I'm walking in the light. I see the world in grace. I see the world in kindness. I see the world in God, and I'm walking in the light. I'm walking in the wonder. You're the wonder in the wild, turning wilderness to wonder. And I'm walking in the light. You're walking in the light. We're walking in the light.
Little tall there. Good morning. Hello, family. I am so happy to be with you this morning. It's been a month since I have seen you, and we've been through a lot. There's been a lot going on in the world. There's been a lot going on in my world. There's been a lot going on in our world. I'm really happy to be with you today. And I want to just applaud and celebrate our choir again. That was amazing. Thank you so much. What a beautiful song to remind us of the tenets of Pride Month, this opportunity for us to really celebrate diversity, celebrate differences, and then to see those places where we actually have so much more in common, and that it all works together. And our world is really waking up to that. It's really waking up to the truth of the individuated expressions of God that show up in billions of different ways, and yet we have so much in common. So thank you for picking that song. It was perfect. Happy Father's Day, right? I don't want to forget that. I'm the first one to say that, aren't I? Happy Father's Day to the fathers in the audience. We really appreciate you. I came across a great poem, and I want to share it with you this morning to just really appreciate who our fathers are. Today is for the fathers. It is for the grandfathers, uncles, brothers, friends, and sons. For the most important man in anyone's life, the one who gave us life. Here's to you, the dads who play endless games of go fish with their kids and always let them win. And those who always played to win every time, thinking their children would grow stronger through defeat. Yeah, that was my dad. This is for the fathers who worked in the fields and factories, taught in classrooms, or sat in office cubicles 8 hours every day. Here's to those who performed life-saving surgery and those who drove their truck through long days and nights. Here's to those who loved every minute of their labor and to those who only worked so their families could survive. To the sleepless dads who have waited in silent fear that their babies wouldn't make it through the night or their teenagers survive their first driving alone. We all did that. Those who lost children and those who found them in different ways. Here's to tears not shed and hugs not given for fear of appearing weak. Here's to dads who build with hammer and saw and those who wouldn't know how. The fathers who are afraid of spiders and yet slay the great dragon of fear in their little ones. The fathers who tried and those who didn't. The fathers who gave us life and walked away. And those who stayed long past the life of their marriage to give something to their children. Here's to the fathers who loved their children's mothers and to those who no longer could. The fathers who hurt because their children have been kept from them, and those who are both father and mother. Stay-at-home dads and stay-away dads. The one we wanted but never knew. The helpless, hurting father and the brave, strong one. And for all the ways of fatherhood, here's to you. And I thank you. Not everybody chooses the path of fatherhood, but we honor you. We honor all the fathers in the diverse ways that fathers can show up today. When I was early in my marriage, I had an idea of what a father was supposed to do. I had an idea of what a husband was supposed to do. And I'm so happy, as I look around and I look at how people are really coming into their own. We're breaking those old patterns. We're looking at what we thought normal was and realizing it's just a setting on a washing machine, right? There really is no normal. There's who you are as an individual. And what I know about Spirit is it wants you to show up exactly as you are, not as some cookie cutter pattern that society says that you need to show up at. And so as we look at Father's Day and Pride and, the other thing is there's so many confluences right now. Right now is the summer solstice. And with the summer solstice, what we know is it's the longest day of the year, and in some cultures, it's a celebration of the light and the streaming into our experience and bringing more light with it. And then Juneteenth, right? Juneteenth. Last year, it was made a federal holiday. And for those of you who might not be familiar with Juneteenth, Juneteenth is the celebration of the emancipation of enslaved people. And it was, despite the fact that the Emancipation Proclamation, I don't think I said that right, but you know what I mean, was passed in 1863. It wasn't until 1865 in Texas that the last locality in our country was freed. And so we now celebrate June 19th or Juneteenth as that day of celebration for all enslaved people. And that's significant for us to celebrate that, to acknowledge that, to see our history, to acknowledge our history, to allow the pain and the past to come forward so that we can transcend it. Because we can't heal what we can't feel. We can't, if we push it down, if we pretend that there's, we all have experiences in our life that are painful or traumatic, and if we keep them under the lid, they tend to find a way through. Is it just me? Or does that happen for you guys too? And so Juneteenth is a wonderful opportunity for us to acknowledge past hurts and then to celebrate newness. And as we look at this idea of Juneteenth and solstice and Father's Day and all those things, we're also talking about the body. Like how do I need like 3 talks to be able to talk to you about all the wonderful things that come up for me as I think about the confluence of all these things that are happening right now. Reverend Bruce and Dave did an amazing job the last 2 weeks talking about the body and reminding us of the connection of the mind, body, spirit connection, that there's always something that is moving into form. I like to say that everything is created twice, first in consciousness and then in form. And so as we look at this idea of the body today, the talk title is The Body Remembers. And what I want to tell you is, your body knows all your secrets. You can't hide from your body. You think you might be able to. I know that there's lots of opportunities when our body's speaking to us. We quiet it down. I know I have. You have a little ache or pain. You take an aspirin. Ache and pain goes away. But when we have the pain, when we experience discomfort, when we experience dis-ease, our body is talking to us. It's telling us something needs our attention. And so our work with the body is to really form a dialogue or a relationship with it, where we begin to listen to it, where we can begin to hear it as it whispers to us or screams at us. Oftentimes that's the case. We wait until it gets so bad, right, that our body actually screams at us. And what I want to say is that when we look at this idea of the body, when we look at how our body is an integral part of our expression, it's actually the expression of God. What I know is that everything that we experience in the material world is the body of God. That when we talk about this idea of the creative process, that everything is created twice, first in consciousness and then in form, it moves from spirit through the law into expression, that our body, your body, my body, is the expression of spirit. But I bet that's not the first thought that crossed your head when you woke up this morning, right? Maybe it was. If it was, congratulations, you're on the right track, because the truth is that this body of yours is God in form. And yet, how many of us will stand in front of the mirror and pick at ourselves and say terrible things about our body? What I want you to know is that your body is an instrument of peace that wants you to express in life in glorious and wonderful and amazing ways. And so our work is to begin to really listen to the body and pay attention to those things that come up for us. So I was thinking about this pulling on this thread about how the body is always, it has a story to tell us about who we are. It has a story to tell us about who we've come here to be. And when we begin to listen to it, and we begin to work with it, when we begin to dance with it, we find the rhythm with it, then we can really find our own authenticity. We can find our own perfect expression. Ask any athlete what I'm talking about. An athlete who begins to really cares for their body and takes care of it and learns how to move with it so that the athlete can, run that extra mile or push that extra yard. And so if we really want to know the story that our body has to tell us, then we have this opportunity to begin to learn that language. When I think about the story that my body has been telling me, when I think about what that is, I know that it's fraught with mixed messages. I remember being a young girl moving into a new neighborhood. We were, everything was a crazy thing going on because the movers were there and we were running around, and I think I was 4 years old, and it was hot, so I took off my top and started running around. And one of the neighbors stopped me and scolded me and shamed me for not wearing a shirt. So here I was feeling free and completely in my body, and then I get this message that my body's not okay. You may have had similar experiences but different circumstances where you got these mixed messages about your body. And then I know as I began to grow older, I had experiences with my body that were very unpleasant and not appropriate. And again, mixed messages about the perfection of my body, and yet having experiences that were unhealthy and inappropriate. And then getting, as I became a young woman and working hard and pushing myself and trying to be doing the housework or working in the garden and working beyond my capacity, right? Anybody do that where you just push your body, something in you says I need to stop, and I'm like, oh, but I got another hour or two of this. I can't stop this right now. And so we create these layers, overlays, if you will, with our body, and the truth is, right, our body is whole, perfect, and complete, exactly as it is. And I believe both Bruce and Dave talked about this the last 2 weeks. It is a perfect design. It knows how to, when you cut yourself, it knows how to heal and mend the skin. We put a little Band-Aid on it. The Band-Aid's not what heals it. It's the body itself. The body knows. It has an innate intelligence, and yet we layer things over top of that innate intelligence. We forget that perfection that is within the body that knows its purity, knows its holiness. The other thing that your body knows is that every trauma that you have experienced, and I know trauma is kind of a buzzword these days, but the reason it's a buzzword is because we've ignored it as a culture. We've pushed it down. We've not wanted to look at it. We've not wanted to know how to deal with it. But your body holds that trauma until you can love it and release it. There's a lot of great resources out there for people who have experienced trauma. And what I want to tell you is whether you've had trauma in a war zone or whether you've had trauma in a heartbreak, there's no greater or less than. Trauma is trauma. And it lives in our flesh. And it isn't until we are willing to come back to this place and love ourselves and enough to allow that trauma to come forward and be released, that it, that's when your body knows your secrets. Our philosophy gives us amazing tools to transcend that kind of human limitation where we have these experiences. But the important thing I want you to know is it's not about hopscotching over them. It's not about bypassing things. It's about allowing things to come up, allowing them to be released, and then experiencing another level of wholeness, experiencing another level of perfection. I came across this amazing quote over the last couple of weeks, and it just really opened my heart, and I want to share it with you. Your journey into awareness is to, I'm going to start this one more time. Your journey into awareness is to imagine that everything you eat, think, touch, and absorb every day is somehow teaching you about God. Your journey into awareness is to imagine that everything you eat, think, touch, and absorb every day is somehow teaching you about God. Your body is the most perfect vehicle to know God. It's tactile. It's right here in the now and present. It will teach you everything that is holy. But you got to listen to it. I remember opening up to spiritual things. I remember beginning to study, and some people talked about listening to your body, and whew, I was clueless. What the heck were they talking about? Sometimes it takes a little effort and some practice, but we can learn to listen to our body. We can learn to listen to its language so that you can get to a point where you can actually hear it speaking to you. I had that experience about 3 weeks ago, where I was supposed to get on a plane the next day and go to Denver. I was going to go right into the Sunset and play the hero at home office and fix some things. And I'd had a headache for a couple of days, and it wouldn't go away. And I literally heard the words, "This is your body speaking to you. It is a hard no. You are not getting on that plane." I canceled my car reservation. I canceled my plane ticket. I canceled my hotel. And I went and I saw a doctor. And as many of you know, I had a health event. And I surrendered to that health event and sailed through it with great resources and wonderful help. And the reason that I did that is because I had cultivated that still small voice that could speak to me. And I can tell you that even 5-10 years ago, that voice was not present yet. I had to cultivate it. And so as we look at this idea of cultivating a relationship with our bodies and listening to the language, I want you to think of it as this heightened awareness of being able to experience God as your body temple. When you get up in the morning and look in the mirror, don't be afraid to say, "I love you." When you're washing yourself and you're putting the soap on your body and there's a part of you that you're not fond of, don't be afraid to give it a little extra rub and say, "I love you." When you have that time to sit still and just be present with yourself, take a moment to do a body scan. Simple as starting at the top of your head and just looking at all the different places in your body and stopping where you feel discomfort or disease or pain even, and asking the question, what do you want me to know? It might take a couple of times before you actually get an intuitive hit, but the practice of asking will generate the practice of hearing. Somewhere it is written that the body is the temple of the Lord. I want you to know that today, that each one of you is a temple of love, and that your temple is precious, and that you are here to express that preciousness in your own unique way. And I trust that each one of you will find that beautiful dialogue so that you can know your perfection each and every day. Thank you very much. So let's just take that in. For the body is the place where we come inside and we begin to know that precious place, that place where God resides, where love dwells and expresses itself in so many unique and wonderful and amazing ways. And so in this moment, I invite you to take a deep breath. And to feel the oxygen as it nourishes the tissues in your body. And to know that it's not just oxygen. This is God, God in form, feeding your cells, caring for you, moving through you. And with every released breath, letting go of all the things that are unnecessary. And this simple practice of taking a breath can bring us back to that holy center where we remember that everything we eat and everything we think and everything we do and everything we experience is an opportunity to raise our awareness to God. And so in this moment as we walk, I speak these words as we prepare to walk through this week, I know that each one carries this deep remembrance of your perfection, of your wholeness, that each one is love made manifest in the form of our body and our soul and our mind and all that is and ever will be. And so it is with deep gratitude that I simply let this go, knowing that truth is known today and is walked out this week by each one. I give great thanks for this. And together we say, and so it is. And now it is my great pleasure to bring back the jewel tones.
Thank you, Reverend Alice. We're so glad you're back with us. So our next song, we're covering all the bases today. We had Wonder, now our next song is called The Father's Love. And this is about God as Father today. We know it's Mother, Father, God, all in one, but today we're honoring the dads. The human dads, the spiritual dads, all the dads. And as soon as my singers are ready there. Everybody okay? All right, here we go. The Father's Love.
May the Father's love fall like gentle rain. May it wash away all your tears and pain as it covers you. May
side by side. May his gentle hand be your faithful guide as you journey through your day.
May the Father's love be your truth, your way. And today both strength and courage find you as you walk the path he has blessed. And as the day falls softly behind you, may your soul find peace and rest. When you feel God's breath on the evening breeze,
May a grateful heart put your mind at ease.
as the sunset paints the sky, may the Father's love be your lullaby. May the Father's love fill your heart with peace. The Father's love.
Take a bow. Thank you. They're going to stay there because they're going to do something for offertory.
Wait, there's more. Well, as those of you who come here regularly know, we are a self-sustaining organization. So this is one of our favorite parts. This is where you get to give back to the center. So if the stewards would please come forward. If I look this way, the light is blinding, so with the help of the stewards, we will read our offering together. My offering is my acceptance of God as the source of this supply and in the abundant flow of this supply.
Thank you, Reverend Bruce. And our next piece is called Amani Utupe na Ustawi. And no, you're not, it was not English. So this is in honor of Juneteenth. This was written and dedicated to the Menya family and their homeland in Kenya, Africa. So have fun. You can dance if you want to dance.
As we travel down this weary road, Amani Utupe na Ustawi, needing strength to carry on our load. Amani Utupe na Ustawi, grant us peace, give us courage. Amani Utupe na Ustawi, grant us peace, give us courage. Amani Utupe na Ustawi. And the way is dark. Amani Utupe na Ustawi. Every road has a different fork. Amani Utupe na Ustawi. Grant us peace, give us courage. Amani Utupe na Ustawi. Grant us peace, give us courage. Amani Utupe na Ustawi. Ustawi. Grant us peace, give us courage. Amani Utupena Ustawi. Grant us peace, give us courage. Amani Utupena Ustawi. Grant us peace, give us courage. Amani Utupena Ustawi. Amani Utupena Ustawi. Amani Utupena Ustawi.
I want you to know that my emergency response is limited to calling 911, so don't fall when you do that. Okay, so there is yet more to come. Thank you, Rainbow Choir. How many of you resisted the urge to help them with the pronunciation of that? I think they lost it. No, I'm only kidding. I couldn't possibly do it. Okay, so we are, again, not only sustained financially by generosity of volunteers, but everything that happens around here happens because of our volunteers. And our band members are a great part of our services here. And so we have Diane King Van, who is our choir director and our music director. Jimmy tells me that he wasn't here to perform today. He's just eye candy, so wherever you are. And our fabulous Vanettes. We have Ed Cuspy on guitar. We have David Page on drums, who's watching them every single minute to make sure they keep the beat. And then we have Grant Clarkson on bass to make sure that Dave is doing what he's supposed to be doing.
Savage. Grant was last week.
Oh, I'm sorry, you look different. It gave me the wrong name and I should have...
Lou Savage on bass.
So he's been keeping an eye on Dave to make sure Dave's doing what he's supposed to do. And so if all the other volunteers would please stand. And thank you for all that you do for us. And if you see it, this requires a lot of people. This is a team sport. And there's a subset of the volunteers, if the practitioners that are here today could stand. And these particular practitioners, 3 of them will be at the back tables. There is Lorianne Whitty. There is Jody Charton, who I saw just a second ago. And there's Mary Koss. If you folks would make yourself visible by standing and waving. And do we have any visitors today? And if we do have any visitors, could you raise your hand because we have a gift for you? I saw nobody standing or waving. So, right now, the rest of our show consists of Wade and Kimberly, and resist the urge to laugh until they're totally done.
And actually, before we do anything, we forgot on the beginning of the month to do the birthdays for the month. So we're going to do birthdays for anyone born in June. Stand on up, and we're going to sing you happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday.
And now, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. You know, you can tell a lot about a guy by what kind of gifts they receive for Father's Day.
Maybe you're the kind of dad that receives earbuds or headphones on Father's Day. That means that people see you as the strong, silent type. And you might benefit from opening up yourself by going to Conscious Connection right here in the sanctuary after the service.
If you receive books on tape, or a magazine subscription, you're probably the studious type of dad. And you would enjoy attending our book study on Wednesday at 9:30 on Zoom. They're just starting the book, Ordinary Wonder, and details are found in the newsletter and on the calendar page of our website.
If you receive tickets to a sporting event or to go zip lining or any massage device, you are a doer kind of dad. You would probably enjoy attending Shifting Sands, talking to other doers about the things you have done.
If you received any product to help grow hair, or heaven forbid, to remove hair from your nose, your ears, or your back, people are trying to tell you that you've gotten a little lax during these COVID times, and your appearance on Zoom needs a little straightening up. So by all means, use these products and then join Coming Home, Awakening to Spirit on Zoom. Not only will you look better, you'll feel better when you connect with like-minded people.
If you received any board game, computer game, VR headset, or a certificate to go go-karting, you're clearly a gamer dad and you probably have that dad bod to show for it. So come on down on Friday, July 8th and play some Mexican Train with us.
Now, if you received steaks, barbecue equipment, or a dinner out, you're a foodie dad. And you know, after service, you should go back to the table and bid on those fabulous food events we have for Gourmets for God. 7 different events are planned during July, August, September, and October, so Father's Day can last for months.
If you received a new phone, an Apple Watch, or a heated shave cream dispenser, you are a nerdy gadget dad, and I'll bet you can't wait to get our new interactive program app, Breeze. Manage your contributions, register, and pay for classes and events. Please stay tuned for more information about Breeze in the weeks ahead.
If you got a Best Dad mug, a necktie, or maybe a power suit, people see you as a leader. And you should know that Reverend Dr. Michelle Wadley, a good friend of Reverend Alice, is coming all the way from North Jersey, CSL, to our center next weekend. She'll be our guest speaker next Sunday, and she'll facilitate a 2-day workshop entitled Power Through Authenticity. The workshop starts Friday night, 6 to 9, on June 24th, and continues Saturday from 10 to 4. There will be coffee at 9 a.m., so bring that Best Dad mug, and lunch will be provided.
This event was initially planned as a renewal retreat for practitioners and ministers. That's why you're just hearing about it. However, Reverend Alice wants to invite the entire leadership team of our centerhood, fatherhood not required. So if you currently serve as a leader in any capacity, have served as a leader in capacity, or you want to move into a leadership role, this opportunity is now open to you for your personal enrichment.
It's presented on a love offering basis. The suggested donation is $100, but it's not too late to ask for it as your Father's Day gift. But you have to do it fast. Sign up on the kiosk.
And now stand and please join us in singing For He's a Jolly Good Fellow. Oh wait, the closing song is I Release.
Yes, it is true. We are only here for God, so I know that we walk out this week free in the spirit, free in our heart, free to love. And so it is. So it is.